it is extremely rare that the Spirit of our God moves the Supreme Pontiff to speak in the person of Christ, sitting from his teaching role of Supreme Master of the Church, ex cathedra, from the chair. Blessed Pius IX did so, and we know that he was preserved in so doing by the very fact that the Lord guarantees this will be him speaking. It was before, actually, the First Vatican Council, when the parameters of that were clearly defined. It's important that we be aware of those parameters, lest we think that everything that a Supreme Pontiff utters is under the same protection. They're very strict conditions. It was not because of apparitions that took place, but as in the case of St. Pius X, an immediate prompting and occasion can be there to do something. So with Blessed Pius IX. You will all have heard of the influence that our little Nelly of Holy God exerted on Pius X. And I can tell you from my own experience that it is the case that little innocent children can receive far more from their encounter with the Lord than many a grown-up hardened heart. The same would apply to handicapped people sometimes. I've noticed with certain Down syndrome children that they are rich in things that we are poor in. They're very close to heaven. And a child not contaminated can also be very close to heaven. Woe betide anyone who harms a child. So, in this case, Our Lady had intervened in 1830. I expect most of you, like myself, will have on you the miraculous medal. That was not the original name of the medal, but it took on that name because of its huge power. And then, in 1858, was it? Correct me. No, 1854. When was Lourdes? Do you remember? She appeared and she proclaimed, when asked her name, "I am the Immaculate Conception." And it was after that the pronunciation was made that she was immaculately conceived. Not because of that, but certainly that would have had an effect. Do you also know that a strange thing happened shortly before that exercise of pontifical authority was once again brought into play by Pius XII? Well, before the proclamation of that other Marian dogma in the Holy Year, the Assumption, there had been an intervention of Our Blessed Lady. You will have heard of the intention to murder the Pope, and how Bruno Cornacchiola had obtained this dagger to do so and had written on it, "Morte al Papa." And he was about to engage his plan when Our Lady appeared to him in Rome, Trefontane, and gave him, in a very strange encounter, of which he remembered every word, it was a long conversation, the whole Catholic faith. He had entered a very anti-Catholic sect, and she told him, actually directly, and it's important this, by the way, that the Catholic Church was the true church, and that the Pope was the vicar of Christ. And he was to go, eventually, to the Pope. She indicated how it was to happen. She would find a priest, who didn't contact necessarily, And he did. And at the end of the group's encounter with him, on the occasion of the Holy Year, or the beginning of it, it was asked, is there anyone here who would like to address a word to the Holy Father? And Bruno got up, approached him, and presented him with the dagger with Morte al Papa on it, and explained to him what had happened. And he wasn't the least bit surprised. Why? He'd been warned a year beforehand by a mystic soul that there was somebody going to kill him. And I think the other bit was also added, but it would be averted. And so, shortly afterwards, not and so, but as it happens, shortly afterwards, he had the courage to define what actually is not put on paper by our Eastern brethren. They talk of the falling asleep. They don't define as we do. And also with the Immaculate Conception, they have the intuition but don't put it into print. The All-Holy One in feminine, Epanagia. And you watch them in liturgy, they get up and cross themselves 3 times whenever she's mentioned. In union with the All-Holy, the All-Pure, and on it goes. It's powerful poetry, it's theology as well. And it's fitting that Father Michael should put an icon here and incense it on this day. I make a jump. She is on our side of the frontier. She is the highest honour of our race, and she took the place of Lucifer as the greatest creature ever made, hence his pure hatred for her, especially under this title of the Immaculate. It was the point of which he had no control, because it was the first in the non-transmission of the link in original sin, and therefore his domination. She is free. Now, I make a jump to what happened when I was just ordained. I was sent immediately back to Rome, and in the early hours of the morning, I'd go from church to church, altar to altar, at the crack of dawn, and celebrate, as you could do, at some private altar. Put my bag on my shoulder and off I went. And one place I celebrated on fairly soon after ordination was where she'd been. It's near, actually, an Irish church, the one where they have a lot of Irish weddings. I did myself there one day. San Silvestro, there you have the church where the head of John the Baptist was supposed to have been. I think it's a bit of it still there. You also have the church of the Blessed Sacrament Fathers with the body of their founder, St. Julian Emard. But then, a little bit tucked away, not far away, you have this one, Sant'Andrea dei Frati. There you have this church where she came, and it's linked with the Immaculate. It was what happened when this very anti-Catholic Jew, Ratisbon, had been given a medal, the miraculous medal, and for some reason, not knowing its danger, he put it around his neck. And she came! There. He was wandering as an aimless tourist in that church. And the Mother of God, as the Immaculate, came and did the same thing. Gave to him that same miraculous infusion of the one true faith. He made a U-turn, and with his brother came a great evangelizer of Jews. It doesn't finish there. Some years down the line, the great devotee of the Immaculate, St. Maximilian Maria Kolbe, who, as a very young boy, had been given a vision, presented with 2 crowns, one of white lilies and the other of red roses. Which will you take? I'll take them both! And so it was. He gave his life at Auschwitz. Of course, he was dying in odium fidei, in the hatred of the faith, but also he was a martyr of charity, And we weren't quite sure how it would be. Paul VI settled it by coming out on the day in red and not in white. He's a martyr. As is later on Edith Stein. I was at her canonization in Rome, very moving. Another martyr in the same place. Well, he was a great evangelizer and very much aware of the power of the pen, communications. He would do everything under the Immaculate and would come out with things like this. One must never say that it's impossible, for the Immaculate exists that it may be possible, and he gambled on it. He went down to Japan and against all odds and normal run of events, he said, no, we won't build there, we'll build there, on the other side of the mountains, Nagasaki, and he did. And of course, it was preserved when the bomb came. He drew a huge number of men and formed them to sanctity with this formula. S, sanctity, exists when little w, will, my will, equals, and in all things equals, in everything possible, big W. That's it in one formula, the divine will. And that was the fullness of grace that Our Lady did. The will completely handed on and contaminated. Which brings me to where I want to finish. The angel Gabriel probably used Hebrew because it was the solemn language, not the spoken Aramaic of the street. He would have come out with shalom, as the Lord did when he came from the dead. He said, shalom aleichem, peace unto you. But the angel Gabriel would have said this, as we work back into the Hebrew, shalom, isheth, chen, peace, woman of grace. That's all they can do. They haven't got the same elastic formulas as we have. That's all they can do. It comes to in Greek as chere, kecheratomeni, rejoice, favored one, feminine. And it comes round in Latin, which they haven't got the verb to grace, as ave, hail, gratia plena, full of grace, which we have. But this has been the source of much spilt ink. What was the fullness of grace? Well, in the same conversation, he uses the word again. You have found chen, you have found favor, grace with God. What is finding favor with God? There's nothing disfavoring the encounter. That is what I want to finish. With the whole teaching of this man I referred to on Sunday. Our own hidden, unknown almost, saint in England, Cardinal Henry Edward Manning, head of the church, a jewel. And he wrote volumes like this to give us a clear teaching on one central issue which I leave with you on this day. It's all to do with the totality, and I mean totality, of the handing on of the will, which, if it's done, precludes the big problem, venial sin. Venial sin is our big problem. Oh, it's only a venial sin, a little bit of naughtiness. I'll go to confession. Is it not true? It's dangerous. I'll tell you why it's dangerous. If you've been in a close relationship with, for instance, your future partner in marriage, and of course afterwards the same, is it not true that you will lose that intimacy of two wedded wills if you start to, in some way, wound charity, wound the will, cause hurt? Why? The wounded will can't love back. It can only will to love back. It's upset, the bond is broken, the current doesn't flow. It's exactly the same with him. It can't happen. We can't look him in the eyes and hurt him by bad words, bad habits, no control, anything we know to be offensive, venial sin. I just finished with one tragic case which just now this week has happened in the church. Our Lord is hurting in the Blessed Sacrament, and he wanted to show it in America, in the very place where he's being hurt. He has just performed yet another miracle to prove his presence in the Blessed Sacrament in the Diocese of Buffalo, which means, by the way, Beaufleur, doesn't do with Buffalo at all. It's the beautiful river in French, which gives us Niagara Falls nearby. There, the host fell to the ground. A deacon picked it up and put it in the receptacle, which can be done to dissolve it, and then placed in a sacred place. But yet again, it would not dissolve. I think you know what happens. This happened quite a few times in recent times. And normally, as in the case of the then Archbishop, I think it was Auxiliary Bishop Bergoglio in Argentina, it was investigated and found to be the very same DNA as the one of Lanciano and other miracles, proving there's no St. Joseph there. This, on the contrary, just this last week, was totally dismissed. The Auxiliary Bishop wouldn't even look at the pictures, and the Bishop said to dispose of it immediately. And so it was disposed of. I don't judge the people, but I judge the symptom, which is that of our present condition. We're so intellectually self-sufficient that we don't realize our poverty. But do we believe? A little child, a Down syndrome child, our little Nelly, the Holy God, knew far more